This year, Money Magazine named Franklin, Tennessee as the 8th top city to live in the entire United States. And this is not the first time that they've made the top 10 list. They've also previously been named as the 6th top city to live in all of America by Time Magazine. So what is it that makes Franklin, Tennessee so special? Well, today we're going to talk about some of those things. Now, if this is your first time visiting my channel, my name is Jen Gramling, and I'm a realtor here in the Nashville and Williamson County area, and I'm putting out weekly videos to help you get more familiar with Nashville and the surrounding area. So if this is something that's of interest to you, definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be the first to see those weekly videos coming out. Now let's talk about those things that make Franklin so great. Now next week, I'm going to take you on a full tour of Franklin so you can see the downtown area, you can see some of the neighborhoods and get more of a feel for it. But today, we're going to get kind of into more of just what makes it so great. And if you're not familiar with Franklin at all and you're thinking about moving here, Franklin is a suburb that's located in Williamson County, which is just south of Nashville, very popular and growing very, very rapidly. And there's a lot that makes this city so great. I went ahead and put a post out on a Facebook group to just kind of get everybody else's ideas too on what is their favorite thing about Franklin and what makes it so special. So I've kind of compiled all of those and put them together in one video for you so you don't have to do that digging. Now the first thing that everybody really says that they love is the historic downtown Franklin area. Now this is the historic downtown area where a lot of the shops, restaurants, festivals, all kinds of things are happening down here. And as you can see, it's just a beautiful area and they've kept it historically preserved and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's not just cute to look at. There's tons of great restaurants like Gray's on Main and Puckett's Grocery. There's wine bars, there's all kinds of places where you can go and eat and get amazing food. And also a lot of these places will have live music, so you can still watch live music as long as, there's no COVID happening. But lots of patios that you can sit on. You can bring your dog and walk. You can window shop. There's tons of shops down here. As you can see, there's unique places like White's Mercantile, which is one of my favorites, Sage Sleep. And then you've got some bigger stores like Anthropology and smaller local clothing shops. You really have everything that you could want down here. It's fun to just come down here and people watch. It's just absolutely the cutest place you've ever seen. And it's always packed, which, hey, some people may like and some people may not. But I can tell you that it just never gets old walking around down here and hanging out. There's just always something fun to do, cool, and see. And this is just kind of the center of town. So this is where they put the Christmas tree down here on the square. And then there's several events throughout the year that the city puts on down here that are really, really fun. Like the Christmas tree lighting, Main Street Festival in the summer, Pumpkin Fest in the fall, and the Dickens Christmas Festival, which is the largest outdoor Christmas festival in Middle Tennessee. You're really not going to want to hang out anywhere else after you've been hanging out in downtown Franklin. And even though I grew up in Tennessee, I didn't spend a lot of time in Franklin, but when I came back, I'll tell you, I was just sitting on the porch of Puckett's Grocery and watching the people go by, enjoying the amazing food, and I just absolutely fell in love with Franklin. Another thing that people really love about Franklin is that it's really safe. Statistics show that Franklin is 49% below the national average for total crime and 56% below the national average for violent crime, making this a great place to be. All right, the next thing is location. Now, Franklin, as I said, is just south of Nashville, and it's just a quick 15 to 20 minute commute if you're living right off that I-65 corridor, going all the way down towards 840. It's just really easy to get into Nashville from there. So I make this drive, every day, sometimes twice a day, and right during rush hour. And even when COVID wasn't happening, so there's not a lot of traffic right now because of COVID, but even when there was no COVID and traffic was at its full force, I never really found that drive to be problematic. Now, of course, if there's weather or an accident or something, you're gonna find some congestion and some slowing down. And then sometimes if you get off on some of those other highways, they're still trying to get the infrastructure up to date here and still working on a lot of those highways. So sometimes there will be road construction. So if you're getting off on 440 or going some other direction, sometimes those can get a little backed up. But as a general rule, it's pretty smooth sailing to get into Nashville. And if you need to jump on the highway and get to Murfreesboro or Smyrna, or you're working somewhere else other than Franklin, Nashville, or Brentwood, those are easy drives as well. If you're living further west in Franklin, out towards Leaper's Fork, it's gonna take you a little bit longer to get into Nashville, 30, 40 minutes. But that's living out in the country for you. So if you want to live further out, it's obviously going to take you longer to get into the city. Okay, another big reason people choose Franklin is because it's in Williamson County and because it's in Williamson County School District. Now, if you go ahead and look on greatschools.org, which again, I'll link in the comments, You can do your own research, but just showing you right here that more often than not, schools in this district are getting 9 out of 10 and 8 out of 10 rankings on greatschools.org. So that really says something about these schools. People love the teachers, they love the environment. It's a really great place for your children. And also, I believe the district is ranked 5th in the state for sports. And then also there's just tons of other arts programs. If you want an IB program, you can find that at Franklin High, AP classes. This is one of the highest performing districts in the entire state and the entire nation. So, you'll be really pleased with your schools here. If you have specific needs for your child, then check with that school before you buy your home. All right, now a lot of people here love the weather, and you may fall on one side or the other on the issue. I'm not really sure, but we have really mild winters, which is great. It can get pretty cold here from time to time, but today it's December and it's in the high 60s, and it's really, really nice outside. So we don't get a ton of snow. We get a dusting every now and then, but then everybody does really appreciate it when you do get that snow. Fall and spring are absolutely beautiful. You have rain, which gives you these beautiful flowers, grass, and trees that you're not going to see, out west or a lot of other places. So it's just really beautiful here with the rolling hills and the trees, beautiful colors in the fall. And then there's the summer. So I'm not a big fan of summer here. I pretty much don't want to leave my house from June through August, September, because it does get really hot and it's really sticky with the humidity. But that humidity does fall off once you get into fall. So if you can make it through those really hot, sticky months, then you'll enjoy the rest of the year. If you're someone who really wants snow and cold and all of that, then this may not be the place for you. Okay, so let's talk about the cost of living now. According to payscale.com, living in Franklin is 5.2% lower than the national average. But if you talk to someone about it, it depends on where they're coming from, right? It's all relative. I mean, compared to some other cities, we can go ahead and compare it to like Denver. It's very comparable to that. Looking at Austin actually looks like it's a little bit higher than Austin, which is kind of surprising. So the average home price around here is right around $550,000. That sweet spot where you're going to find your homes are right in that $550,000 to $750,000 range. Of course, you can go way up from there and find some really beautiful high-end homes. And then also, if you're looking for something smaller, you can find condos, apartments, townhouses, and then you can find houses sometimes in the high 3s and 400s that maybe need some work. So if you want to be in this area and you want to put in that work to get something really nice, we can always look for something that's on that lower end and fix it up. And then you'll also find retirement communities, any kind of housing that you want here you can find. We even have brownstones in the downtown Franklin area where you can walk to everything downtown. And then one of my favorite areas is the historic homes that surround downtown Franklin that are walkable to that area, but you are going to pay a considerable price to live down there. It's very, very desirable, beautiful older homes. It's absolutely just, stunning streets with these big old beautiful homes on them. And those are going to be probably in that, 800 at the very low end and going up from there. But then you have to look at other factors as far as cost of living goes. So Tennessee has no state income tax, if you don't know that about Tennessee. Also, you can go to college for free here if you didn't know that. You don't need qualifying grades to do that. I think you have to have been a resident just for a year in the state, but you can go to a community college and get a 2-year degree, or you can go to a technical college and get your degree there for free as an adult. And that's just something that the state of Tennessee does for its residents. So there's a lot of things to think about when it comes to cost of living, but lots of different factors, but it's pretty comparable on average. If you talk to someone who's lived here for a long time, they're obviously going to think that it's really expensive to live in Franklin because they grew up here and they've seen those prices raise. But as far as, compared to the national average, it's actually a little bit below. And I would just say probably that one of the reasons that Franklin's making this top list of places to live is because of all of the wonderful things that there are to do here. From outdoor activities, you can go and hike the Natchez Trace Trail. You can go and canoe and kayak the Harpeth River. There are music festivals that happen here at Harlansdale Farm, which is open to the public year-round, but they also host once a year the Pilgrimage Music and Cultural Festival, which hosts incredible artists who play like the Foo Fighters, Chris Stapleton, Lionel Richie, Dave Matthews, Keith Urban, and some really incredible talent has been featured at the Pilgrimage Music Festival. And then they obviously have vendors and food and all kinds of amazing things going on. And that's just at our park right here outdoor in Franklin, Tennessee. So, obviously you're right outside Nashville, so you have access to a lot of artists and things who all live around here. So you're gonna see all kinds of fun things going on music-wise as well. And then there's also other really cool places to hang out, like the Factory, which was an old factory. Really cool, but they've turned it all into shops and restaurants and a really cool place to hang out, a venue for all kinds of events. That's a really cool place to go. So there's a lot to do. And that just takes us into the fact that Franklin is really family oriented. And that's what just came back time and time again on that Facebook post, was that everybody loved how family oriented it is. And for all of the reasons that we just said, all of the activities, the events, the parks, all of these things just make it great for families. And so without coming and checking it out for yourself, you're never gonna know. So if it's on your list of things to do, definitely make that time, get to Franklin, Tennessee and check it out. You will absolutely fall in love with it. So as I said, I'm gonna take you on a full tour next week so you can get a better idea of the neighborhoods and the downtown and see a little bit more of those things. So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you wanna go ahead and see those videos or any other videos coming out on Nashville, Nashville real estate, or just anything going on in town. So again, my name is Jen Gramling. Send me a text, call me, send me an email, reach out to me with any questions you have on Nashville and the surrounding areas. I'd love to chat with you and help you find that perfect place for you.